Hello, welcome to part 2 of how to create a course or create an offer that can stand out in a saturated niche. Of course, I've been making the point that all niches are already saturated. So there isn't a niche that you can say, it's just totally blue ocean. So really, how do we stand out? That is the question, and that's what I started with on my part 1, where I talked about the fact that you need to niche down. So I am going to jump to part 2 right away of what you must do if we want to be profitable, if we must be profitable. And part 2 or number 2 is we're talking about how do you create an offer that stands out in that saturated market. Number 2 is we need to clearly define how we are different and better than the competition. We need to clearly define how we are different and better than the competitors. In other words, that you must in your message clearly define how are you different and how are you better than the competition. So it's not just enough to say, hey, I can help you get this result. It's not just enough. People, when they are making purchases online, especially for intentional things like a digital product, something they can't touch, they can't feel, and they can't see. You see, when people are buying things like that, when people are buying things online, they are much more discerning with their money. People will easily go out and spend $50 to $100 for their family to go out and eat. And they never give a second thought about it. Just go and pay for the meal and enjoy the meal. But if you ask them to spend that same $50 to $100 on a digital course, now they are going to begin to think about it. Now they are going to look at reviews. Now they are going to look at what else is happening out, or who else is doing it. So now all these things that need to be validated, they will have to do it. So we really need to do a very good job of differentiating what we do. How do we differentiate ourselves? How are we different? Okay, so how do we differentiate ourselves? We're talking about the method that we use, or I could call it the mechanism, or the way that you help people to achieve their goal. We must do a very good job at that, at differentiating what we do. Here is where we talk about the method that you use. Here is what we talk about the mechanism, the way that you help people to achieve the goal. So it's not enough for you to say, I help people achieve the goal. Okay, how do you articulate the way you help people to achieve that goal? For example, I think the most obvious one is weight loss. So if you help people lose weight, the question then is, what is the method that you use to do that? What is the method? What's the mechanism you use to help people achieve that goal of weight loss? That is something that you must answer. That's not just answering, that's something you must be clear about. So we can't just say, hey, we use the best and most modern, up-to-date weight loss method in modern day science. You can't say such a thing. Why? Because anybody can say that. Anybody can say that. You have to be more descriptive. You must be more descriptive. For example, you could say, yes, I use ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. It could be something like that. You see, so you say, in order for you to lose weight, or in order to help my people lose weight, I use ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. And you would say, okay, that's by far the best way I know to do it, and I'm producing results. So people know the method you use is ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. Then that's the mechanism that you use. So if you think about your own method versus what other options that your prospect have available to achieve the same results, think about it. In other words, what are the other ways? What are the other ways? Could it be that there's a book about ketogenic diet? So you said you are challenging them. Instead of just reading a book, I have something here. Could it be that there may be YouTube channels about ketogenic diet? Could it be maybe some other type of weight loss method, like maybe calories restriction or something like that? What is it that they are using? What is it that's available for them to use to achieve the same result? So we need to outline all these other options that our prospects have. And then we must identify why they are not working and why they are not going to work as well as what we do. Why is ours superior to them? Why is ours better than them? Why is ours more, you see, yes, basically superior and better. I think those are the words. I can't get any other word, but I guess you get what I'm saying. Why is ours better? Because here's the thing that you need to keep in mind, because I know your heart is now pumping. So when you start talking about how to differentiate your offer from other people's offers, this does not mean you come up with something completely brand new that has never been on the surface of the earth. That is not what I am meaning. that type of offer is incredibly rare, like maybe a fraction of 1%. Or in my mind could come up, things like Uber could come up, maybe Airbnb could come up, something like that. But the truth of the matter is that even if you come up with something like that is very unique and nobody has done it before, it could just be a matter of time. And you know what? Someone will come and copy it off, and they're doing that too. So then what is the name of the game? How do we do this? There are basically two ways for us to achieve this differentiation, or how do we differentiate ourselves? Number one is, you could take something that everybody is already doing, but nobody's talking about. You could take something that everybody is doing, but nobody is talking about. What do I mean by this? The best example that comes off to my mind is way back, I think in maybe the early 2000s, there was this popular exercise program called P90X. P90X. I don't know if you still remember that, P90X. And now this exercise program was based on, or they coined a term known as muscle confusion. And the whole idea was that, whenever you started a workout program, you could get results at first. But after a certain point, you reach a plateau, and it becomes less and less effective, to the point where now your body gets used to the workout and it adapts actually to the workout. And then you don't see any more program, no matter what you do. So that was what was happening. Now, what they did with this method, they said, okay, this is the traditional workout program. That is what are you going to experience with the other programs. Again, you will get results for about 30 days. And then after that point in time, you will not get any results, even if you are actually working just as hard or as even harder than never before. So, and they say this is why the P90X came out with this term, or with this method they call muscle confusion. And this is where, after the first 30 days, they switch out the workout routine, where they are now targeting different muscles with different movements in order to confuse the muscles. And as they confuse the muscles, they trigger the muscle growth again, to where now you start seeing new results. And they do that for another 30 days. So at the end of that 30 days, when they start seeing a plateau again, then they mix it up one more with another way of targeting another area of muscles for another 30 days. And so that is where actually the P90X came from. So at the end of the 90 days, you have 3 times the result that you would have with the other traditional workout program that's not doing this type of this method. Now, my point is this. that anybody who was a personal trainer or any fitness guru already knew this concept. They already knew this concept. They were actually doing it already. It wasn't new. These guys did not invent anything. They didn't invent. What simply they did was, nobody was saying it. So they took this up and they made it their own. And they marketed the heck out of it. So they were very effective in letting the consumer know why this is going to work, and it became their method. And that was the difference against everything else. So you see, they created a hook. They created an angle that presented it in a way that other people were not presenting it. And that was the thing that made them all different. So this really is the way to do it. You get what people are doing, but no one is saying it, and you say it in your own way. And you know what? Just swim with it and make it appear as if it is something new, but yet it has been there. No one was just saying it. So that's the first method to differentiate yourself and take something that everybody is doing, but nobody is saying it. The second way is to find out what everybody is doing, and then you just, put your own spin on it and make it your own. And third, I think this is the obvious one, because there's a ton of different ways to do it. For example, there are a million different variations of ketogenic diet that There are a million variations of intermittent fasting. So just make sure that it is your own. But the thing that you want to do as you're doing this, that do not make it easily duplicatable. Like someone cannot just easily duplicate. Don't just come up with something obvious, something very simple, and you say, oh, this is my method. And it shouldn't be something that someone can just Google it out and they can figure it out. Let's say that you say, oh, I do intermittent fasting, but my method is 8-12-4. 8-12-4 is your method. And I mean, something very easy to figure out, like, maybe 12 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, and maybe another 4 hours of juicing yourself. So if you explain to anybody that kind of method, you say, oh yeah, I can do this myself. And so they don't even need to shake you. So it can't be something like that where it's very easy to just Google out and figure out on their own, where they don't even need to now shake you out because the things is obvious. You want it to be involved enough where somebody has to shake you out. Because when you differentiate yourself and when you come up with an angle which is your own, that nobody else is saying it, or nobody has modified it the way that you have modified it, then you create a solution that the only place that people can get to get that solution from is from you. You get it? Does it make sense? You come out, you create a solution where the only way to get that solution is from you. So what that creates is what is referred to as a blue ocean, in contrast to a red ocean. Of course, a red ocean in the marketplace is where the ocean is already saturated with blood everywhere. There's no free water because of the too much competition from the sharks. So we want to compare it to a blue ocean where the sharks have not come, which is what you do when you differentiate like that. You end up marketing, you are the only one marketing that ocean. And now you have created a marketplace where you are the only one they can come for that specific solution. And this is number two key if we really want to create an offer that stands. You dream to be profitable, then what is your method? The question that we need to ask is, what is your new and better method? If you can be able to figure this out, if you can be able to really clearly explain this, I can guarantee you, no matter how saturated the market is, you will stand out, because you will create at that market, you will create that solution where it's only you who is providing it, and so people will come to you. I hope this makes sense. I hope you are seeing that there is a way out. By my third video, which is part 3, you will be able to see this, that is very easy for us to stand out even when the gurus are there, even when the big guys are there. It's very easy to be an underdog and be able to be highly profitable. I will be able to explain to us this. So thank you guys. And I will definitely see you in the next, my next video. So thank you. See you.